Hello everyone, Pharma will welcomes you all busy people to yet another learning video. So in this video, we will learn about the INTAS Pharma 483 observations. So as you might be aware of the fact that a couple of months back, USFDA has issued Form 483 to Ahmedabad facility of the INTAS Pharma. So I hope those who are working in the USFDA approved plants, they might be aware of this. So well friends, Ahmedabad facility of the INTAS Pharma was inspected by USFDA in the month of May from 1st of May to 12th of May 2023. It was almost 10 days audit if you exclude Saturday and Sunday. So there were 3 auditors who conducted the audit and their names were Justin S. Boyd, Arsen Kariptin and Rita K. Cabasso. So guys, these 3 auditors has given total 16 number of observations. So let us go through all these observations quickly one by one. Observation number 1, and the title of the observation number 1 is Batch manufacturing and the control records do not include the complete information related to the production and the control of each batch. So under this observation, auditors reviewed the batch manufacturing records from 2021 and they found that the manual visual inspection data of the finished parenteral drug products was routinely manipulated by the manual visual inspectors. Observation number 2, and the title of the observation number 2 is there was a failure to thoroughly review any unexplained discrepancy whether or not the batch has already been distributed. So under this observation, auditors reviewed around 6 deviations related to the visual inspections where the reject limits were crossed. So auditors found that all these deviations were closed without identifying the root cause. Along with this, auditors also stated that failures related to the non-viable particle count were not investigated thoroughly. Now comes the observation number 3. So the title of the observation number 3 is your firm has failed to establish adequate written procedures for the production and process control designs to assure that the drug products have the identity, strength, purity, and quality. So under this observation, auditors reviewed the process validation records and they found that there were multiple lapses in the process validation activities. For example, samples collected during the process validation activities were not scientifically and statistically sound. Observation number 4, and the title of the observation number 4 is Procedures designed to prevent the microbiological contamination of the drug products purporting to be sterile did not include adequate validation of the aseptic and the sterilization process. So under this observation, auditors found gaps in the sterilization activities. Auditors stated that worst case locations were not considered during the area sterilization and the equipment sterilization. So because of these reasons, auditors raised questions on the sterilization process or the activity. Observation number 5, and the title of the observation number 5 is Aseptic processing areas were deficient regarding the system for cleaning and disinfecting the room and the equipment to produce aseptic conditions. So under this observation, auditors found that machine used to apply the sporocidal disinfectant in the grade V areas of the aseptic filling rooms. The process was qualified in a non-representative room in the microbiology laboratory and not in the aseptic filling rooms where it is used. The study could not evaluate if the airflow, equipment or the room design allow for the sporocidal to effectively cover all the surfaces. Along with this, auditors found that blue wipes were used for the cleaning and disinfection of the surfaces in the aseptic areas. According to the auditors, blue wipes can generate loose fibers and the fraying threads, which will have impact on the particle count of the area. Now comes the observation number 6, and the title of the observation number 6 is Aseptic processing areas were deficient regarding the system for monitoring environmental conditions. So under this observation, auditors found that the RAVS of general parenteral aseptic filling line where the sterile stopper bowl and exposed sterile stoppers are located throughout the aseptic filling, there was no scientific rationale for only collecting non-viable particle count in this RAVS during the aseptic filling operation. Observation number 7, and the title of the observation number 7 is appropriate controls were not exercised over the computers or the related systems to assure that the changes in the master production and control records or the other records are instituted only by the authorized personnel. Under this observation, auditors stated that GMP-related computerized systems and the equipments were not validated, qualified to demonstrate the suitability of the computer hardware and the software to perform the assigned tasks. For example, the firm has initiated a protocol-based assessment to evaluate the data integrity controls in the manufacturing equipment. So during this assessment, gaps were identified by the firm, which were mainly related to the individual access controls and the privileges, restrictions for changing the clocks, saving electronic data, and audit trials. So after identification of these gaps, quality unit has not implemented interim controls. For example, auditors found that portable non-viable particle monitoring equipment is used to perform and generate the data for non-viable particle count during the environmental monitoring. Now, auditors found that firm was not aware of the fact that portable non-viable particle monitoring equipment is having the data storage capabilities, and firm was using hard copy printouts as a primary source data. So in response to this observation, firm's management told that data storage capability for this equipment is up to 1000 tests, after which the data is overwritten with the most recent data. So after identification of this discrepancy by the auditors, firm has initiated a deviation investigation. So guys, similar discrepancy was observed in the quality control where auditors found that auto titrator instrument has the ability to electronically store results data. But this function was not utilized. Instead, the process relied on the paper printouts without having any second check that can ensure that all the printouts are maintained and reported. Now comes the observation number 8, and the title of the observation number 8 is routine checking of the automatic mechanical and electronic equipment was not performed according to a written program designed to assure proper performance. So under this observation, auditors found that the periodic performance qualification for automated visual inspection machine was not performed adequately. Observation number 9, and the title of the observation number 9 is the responsibilities and the procedures applicable to quality control unit were not fully followed. So well friends, during the inspection, auditors observed that there were multiple incidents logged where the HPLC and GC testing operations were interrupted during the testing. So auditors found that for the interrupted analysis, fresh solutions were prepared to repeat the analysis even though initially prepared solutions were within the validity. So there was no adequate justification for the preparation of the fresh solutions. Well friends, during the audit, a retrospective assessment of the chromatographic system interruptions due to the communication errors was done. However, this assessment has not considered the processing errors, hardware errors, power failure, and the software malfunctioning errors. So therefore, auditors stated that your firm has not demonstrated the understanding of the different types of the communication errors and circumstances which may lead to the interruptions. So under this observation, auditors found that in Chromeleon software, there was no adequate data organization with respect to the different products and different tests. So because of which review of the data in the Chromeleon software was not efficient during the inspection. Auditors has mentioned this as a gap in the data integrity program. So along with this, auditors observed that there was no adequate data integrity program in place to review all the electronic data by the quality assurance unit for the standalone and the network systems to ensure the completeness, consistency, and accuracy of the all chromatographic and non-chromatographic electronic data generated by the quality control laboratory. Actually, auditors observed that the electronic data is reviewed by the quality control unit only, after which quality unit verifies the data through hard copy printouts. So here auditors' concern is that quality assurance unit should also check the electronic data as well as instead of checking the electronic data through hard copy prints. So under observation number 9, auditors mentioned that the quality unit lacks the adequate control over the issuance of the worksheets and the logbooks. For example, during the inspection, auditors observed that visual inspection forms were issued to general parenteral production without adequate QA control. Actually, ITO found that visual inspection forms issuance was not controlled by the quality assurance, and the production personnel were responsible for storage, issuance, and reconciliation of these visual inspection forms. Observation number 10, and the title of the observation number 10 is equipments and the utensils were not maintained at the appropriate intervals to prevent the contamination that can alter the safety, identity, strength, quality, and purity of the drug products. So under this observation, auditors found that there was a gap in the cover which actually protected the vials from the grade C environment after vial washing. Now comes the observation number 11, and this is very interesting observation. So the title of this observation is equipment used in the manufacturing, processing, packing or holding of the drug products were not of appropriate design to facilitate operations for its intended use. So under this observation, auditors found that in the aseptic filling room, there is no scope or the possibility of viewing all the ongoing aseptic operations via window or camera. Now comes the observation number 12, and the title of the observation number 12 is the procedures for the annual quality standards record evaluation were deficient in that they do not address a review of the representative number of the approved and the rejected batches. So under this observation, auditors verified the APQR document and found that inter-batch and intra-batch variations were not evaluated. Observation number 13. There was no routine identification of the microorganisms recovered from the purified water system to understand the microbial flora. Observation number 14. The procedures for the cleaning and the maintenance of the equipment were deficient regarding the removal or the obliteration of the previous batch identification. So well friends, during the walkthrough of the manufacturing area, auditors observed that one of the non-dedicated container was having white residue on its surface. However, it was labeled as clean. Observation number 15. Environmental monitoring samples were not counted accurately. So on 1st of May 2023, auditors visited the microbiology laboratory and they verified the plates count. And they found that the reported colony counts were different from the actual number. So here you can see the number of examples quoted in the form 483 by the auditors. So approximately 6 examples quoted where the count of the colony formation was different from the actual observed count. For example, in case of the personal monitoring, the reported colony count was 1, but actual observed count was 2. Now comes the last observation, that is observation number 16. So guys, title of the observation number 16 is the accuracy, sensitivity, specificity and the reproducibility of the test methods were not established and documented. So here auditors stated that your firm has not performed the analytical method validation of the in-house test methods and the verification of the compendial test methods for the approved and the pending drug applications. So guys, these were the 16 observations which were issued by USFDA to INTAS Pharma Ahmedabad, Gujarat facility. So whatever the examples mentioned in the form 483, we have tried to cover almost all of them. If you still want more detail about these observations, then you can check the link given in the description or you can visit the USFDA website to download the form 483. So this is it for today. Hope you have learned something new today. Bye bye and happy learning.